What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. And by the way, happy Friday the 13th. I almost forgot. So I just want to let you guys know, for the first time in a really long time, my Wi-Fi is a little wonky. I've got everything that connects to Wi-Fi that I'm aware of unplugged. So hopefully we don't have any issues. I've got lights dimming, but the weather is fine. I might hear some thunder, but I'm not sure because my air conditioner is kind of loud. I'll do my best for y'all. Another reason we have Ghost Dragons here is because if anything happens on my end, at least he can entertain you guys while I get things up and running. Hopefully we don't have that issue. The main issue is that y'all can hear me. So if you have any issues hearing me, let me know. Other than that, if I look a mess, if I'm blurry, that stinks, yes, but the main thing is that you guys can hear me. So I'm really excited to be here. I love Friday nights, as most of you know. Let me say hello to everyone. Why isn't my thing? Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was like, All right. So we have Mr. Ghostdragonzw of Curse. The Batmom wants to know if it's Thursday or Friday. It's Friday the 13th, darling. Get some sleep. What's wrong with you? Who is next here? Blue Crossroads. What's up, love bug? I don't know what flute drama is. I was reading Girls Trip drama. I always think it's funny. When I get in a mood, I watch the TikTok drama channels. I want to react to some of that stuff just because I think it would be funny, but I still have to learn how to do reactions. Nuts Up and I have not been able to team up and kind of get together so he can teach me that. Even though, according to him, it should only take a few minutes once I have the download, which I do. So he was kind enough to offer to show me that. We just haven't been able to link up. You're watching my shorts? Yeah, doesn't sound right. But I saw your comments, and thank you. Urso, so nice to see you. Thank you for coming in, and thank you and everyone else for all of the support. I do see it. I've been on top of my comments more now than ever, now that I'm, covering more platforms and really trying to push myself onto social media. Mark Hall said, what's up? It's good to see you. Yes, let's do this. That's the kind of attitude that I like. Okay. So Jared said, I regretfully can't stay, but remember that each one of you is special and you are the channel. And that is absolutely true, because without you guys, it would just be Steven and I sitting here talking to each other with no one listening, which is a big fear of mine, which is why I haven't gone live over on TikTok, even though I have I think 1,300 or 1,400 followers over there now. I'm moving quicker on TikTok. Instagram is a challenge. Instagram, I have 200 and something followers and, a few hundred videos. I haven't cracked that code yet, but also you have to pay to be verified on Instagram, and it's $45 a month. I'm lucky if I even make that. Melissa Nicole, good to see you. Skyly Girl, what's up, sweetie? Dargo, hey. It's National Goddess Day. Well, I guess we're all in the right place then, huh? Not really too many announcements, just a lot coming up. I've been backlogging, if that's the right word, maybe not stockpiling, scripts, so that I know last summer I did not put out a pre-recorded all summer. I was totally unprepared. I didn't actually think I was not going to be able to work all summer except for on Sundays. I didn't think that anyone would allow that to happen and that I would have support. I learned my lesson. So I've been stockpiling scripts. So every week, at the very least, there will be a pre-recorded. We'll still be doing this stream. Content shouldn't change much, except maybe less audio shorts. So it'll be more YouTube shorts and TikToks of me doing random things with my friends, with my family. Maybe not as much where I have to sit down. That one today that I did, that was the dating app. And it was I'm Spider-Man. I played football for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Miss America. That took me 40 minutes to get that, perfect the way that I wanted it, where my lips matched the audio. So maybe not as much as that, but it's just until the first week of September. Tomorrow, I am going to Paranormal Cirque with my friend May. I'm really excited. They bill it as a paranormal circus. We have seats. There were only seats left. It's not that I was trying to be fancy. My friend May got $20 off the tickets, and we got some of like the last 15 tickets left. And our tickets are 3 rows from the stage. It's going to be so cool. So it's not so much like a circus, but it is. It's like Cirque du Soleil crossed with a burlesque show, but all paranormal, creepy, scary. I'm so excited to go. I see it. It just, they set up a tent by the mall, by my house. I see it every year, but nobody ever wants to go with me. So she invited me because I've been telling her, like, girl, we got to get together. We got to do something. And every time it just doesn't work out. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm really, really excited about it. My little guy is done with school, not next Friday, as I initially thought. He's actually done. They changed it last week. He's done on Wednesday, and he only has a half day. So I lost 2.5 days of work, which it is what it is. I'm doing the best that I can. Guys, don't forget, I offer spiritual helper boxes and free, not free, not free, personal readings where you get more than one card. You get more than the 3 minutes. And I kind of have to put that out there. I have 2 subscription boxes right now. One of them is just the medium box, and that's $60. And that's because I don't have to ship it. I give it to her when I go to the hospital. She works at once a month for my doctor's visit. So because I don't have to ship, it's $60 for a medium. And the other one is a full-blown reading with spray and oil every 3 months. Once every 3 months, hour to hour and a half video call, video reading, and then a reading every single month as well, all combined. And she pays me $120. So just letting you guys know, I'm trying to make a little extra money for the summer. Obviously, RJ's birthday is July 13th. I have no money right now, and I need to get him a gift. I'm not throwing him a birthday party. I told you guys last week I was able to rent out a beachfront condo because I took an advance on my book royalties, which, like, I'll be paying that back for the next 4 years. But, you know, whatever. I make the money. The more books you guys buy, the faster I'll be able to pay that back. It wasn't like a bajillion dollars. It was actually very reasonable. Where did I leave off here before I started rambling? Hold on. All right, Melissa, Skyly, Dargo, Urso, Mark. I said hi to you guys already. Netter, Merry Christmas. Multifaceted Jules, what's up, girl? I think I missed some comments. Guys, if you didn't notice, my lights just went out. I think I plugged it into a bad brick. So let me bring in Ghosty and let me fix that, and then we can get started.
And I'm on mute. Let's see, that's overtime. Whoop. My phone. Shit. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good evening so far.
Whoa.
Happy Friday the 13th. And a special happy Friday the 13th birthday to my ex. Jason will be at the party, so hang tight. I hope everybody is having a good one and a good start to their weekend. And when we get started, of course, Blue will be the first because we do members first. And then we do first come, first serve. So Blue will be first. And then after Blue will be Melissa, then Mark, Nutter, and then Jules, and then Batmom and Jared if they all want one. So make sure you tell me if you want one or not, okay? Thank you.
Yo, that was crazy. So normally I have a pink, one of those plugs that has like multiple outlets.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what it's called. So I normally plug my light into the one I have my phone charger in, because there's bricks in all of them, but not all the bricks have something in them. But the closest one, because it's a short wire, is the one that my phone thing is in. Tell me how I've had it plugged in for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And when I just pulled the plug out of this generic brick, so there's no name on this, it must have come, Ray must have brought it in or something. It burnt my fingers.
It's too hot. Yeah.
The metal. This must be like a cheap. This is like Temu, probably. It's probably I did it. But that was scary. So I had to make sure my grounding mat wasn't like nothing was on fire.
Yeah, you got to watch those things, especially the cheap ones. I've actually seen video of them catching on fire.
Netter misses that last half day of school. Yeah, I miss school in general. I always loved school. What's up, Smoochie girl?
Always had half days, so I didn't have to worry about
Jason Voorhees. Yes, Friday the 13th. I don't know if it's his birthday or the day that he died, but Melissa just told me that it's National Goddess Day. So
yeah,
another goddess in the chat.
Oh,
bye, Skyly girl. Sorry.
Yeah,
I ramble for a little bit.
I always bug the ex Tina about her birthday always falling on Friday for 13th, and it's the only one this year. So I wanted to make that's it. This is the only
Today's
Friday.
Tina's birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so bad. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I always make sure that her phone's filled with Jason's stuff.
So National Goddess Day is her birthday. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure I send her something afterwards about that too.
She's a Gemini though, so
yeah, she is.
I'm just kidding, Smoochie. I'm only kidding. Yeah, so just his birthday is coming up. It's a really big thing. What I'm gonna do is get a cake, a gift, and I'm gonna decorate the condo for him because we're leaving the day after his birthday, which is Ray's birthday. But he knows we're gonna be celebrating while we're down there. So
Pop turns.
I didn't know either, but apparently they did.
Did you know Pop's birthday is Tuesday? 92.
I did know that. Yes, that I did know. I don't think I have any in June since my stepfather passed. His was the 24th. May's twins are, I believe, the 21st, but we did their party last Sunday. Or they did their party. I went to the party. I didn't do anything for the party. No, I love Geminis. Listen, I love all of the astrological signs. And I believe that the chart plays a big role because honestly, Gemini men, like dating them for me in my life has been horrific. Like I can't even explain to you how horrible it's been. Recently, though, I've met a lot of higher vibrating Geminis that I believe it's about your chart. It really is. You can't just take someone and base it on their sign, right? I'm Pisces and a lot of people are like, the typical Pisces thing, sweet and kind. And yeah, I am. But a lot of people don't know the dark side, which is manipulative, vindictive, plays the victim, will get you back even if it takes 20 years and you never realize it's them, will hurt you and still convince you that they didn't do it. I mean, there's so much about each sign that's so bad. And I'm very self-aware because when I was in addiction, I used all of the dark tricks. But I'm also a Libra moon, which ramps that up like times 1,000 because all of the dark Pisces traits are also dark Libra traits. So it's good because then you can be mindful. Like I'll start thinking, am I being manipulative here? And I'll have to catch myself. And but you can't just go on, one aspect of a person's chart. And RJ was born on Blue. Being a Libra, I mean, you get it. RJ was born on Friday the 13th in 2018 in July. So, all right. Let's get started. Is it Blue first?
Yes, Blue is first.
Blue, we're going to use your deck for you today. I'm so aggravated. For the last 5 years, I've been smoking Enjoys. The mod is really cheap, just plain regular old nicotine in the top. You get a 2-pack for like $11. It's been working for me, right? Strong enough, not too strong, good. I go down to 3.5. I'm good. I send Ray a quick check for the last 5 years to get me pods. About 3 weeks ago, they didn't have them. And I said to him, I said, every time a place doesn't have them, they like never have them again. There's an issue going on because there's no reason otherwise for them to not have them. It's not like everybody knows what an Enjoy is and smokes it. It's cheap. It's not that great. It's just, whatever. It's just there because I need nicotine. So next week he goes, same thing. 2 days later, same thing. Finally, I'm like, there has to be something going on. I look it up, and sure enough, Juul sued Enjoy and won. So Enjoy is not allowed to produce anything anymore. So I'm forced to use a Juul, and I've got to tell you, I have to charge it about 5 times a day. Halfway through like the charge, so before it even starts turning red or giving any signal that it's dying, it's dead. I hate it. What's up, Carl? How you doing, girl? Guys, please don't forget, and I'm not going to mention it on stream. I do have RJ's party coming up. I do want to get him a gift. He wants a Chromebook. They're not that much money, a cake, and some decorations. Anything that you donate from now until July 11th is going to go directly to his party if you donate it through PayPal or Cash App. Anything that you donate through YouTube, I love that too. I appreciate it. That will go into my July 21st paycheck. It is very inconvenient. It's like I was already forced. You have to understand too, this is the 4th vape. The Enjoy is the 4th vape. Bye, Carl. Thanks for stopping in, honey. Don't forget to hit the like. I appreciate you. I love when people just pop in to show love. That's so cool. Like, you can't hang out, but you're still going to come in and be like, what's up? This is the 4th brand vape that I've used in the last, I don't want to say the last 5 years, like the last 8 years, because the first 3 all got discontinued within a month of me starting to use them. I was using the Marlboro pen thing. It was crazy. Anyway, let me get off me. Blue. This is a beautiful card. My second favorite animal in the world is a male lion. And that is partially what the Chimera is. So we have card number 32. It is a dangerous card. The card of synergy. The whole is more powerful than the parts alone. Experiment. There is power in new designs and ways. There may be people around you sowing purposeful discord. You know many things and have your own wisdom. Pull all of this together to form something powerful. You have unique experiences and talents, and you definitely do, that can only be utilized by you. Homer gives a description of the Chimera in the Iliad, saying that she was of divine stock, not of men, in the forepart a lion, in the hinder a serpent, and in the midst a goat, breathing forth in terrible wise the might of blazing fire. There were many other descriptions, but bottom line, the Chimera was a creature made up of seemingly disparate parts, yet the parts worked together to create a stunning creature. The Chimera may have been frightening, but it was beautiful and harmonious in form too. While the Chimera sounds like something cobbled together like Frankenstein's monster, it wasn't. It was considered quite perfect in its form and function. Oh, Jesus. All right, Smoochy, prayers. And it was something to be viewed with wonder. While the Chimera appears in Greek mythos and art, she also appears in 4 BC Etruscan art and on Indus seals of the same period. The Chimera was born from 2 incredible Titan monsters, the Echidna and the Typhon. Echidna was a giant half-woman, half-snake, and Typhon was a deadly serpent-like Titan born from Gaia and Tartarus. Sadly, the Chimera was killed by yet another hero, Bellerophon. The king of Lycia, Iobates, had it out for Bellerophon and wanted him eliminated. He ordered the young man to find and kill the Chimera, as it was killing the cattle of his farmers and devastating the country generally. The real reason was that he thought that the Chimera would simply eat Bellerophon. I can't say that name tonight for some reason. And that would be that. However, the king neglected to remember that the hero owned the infamous Pegasus, the winged horse, and flying above the Chimera, he was able to kill it from a safe height. Your plant companion blue is Eagleson's Chimera, which is a kind of camellia. I'm not good with like flowers, plants, and herbs. What's up, Divine Girl? Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story about that. Crystal companion is amylite. I don't know what amylite looks like off the top of my head, but if you look it up, we can get you some. Whether I have to send it to you, order it through Amazon. Make sure it's authentic, though. It's not synthetic. So before I get into your reading, I want to tell you guys, too, synthetic, you guys can hear me, right? Everyone but Smoochie? Okay. Synthetic gemstones are okay. People think because it's synthetic, it won't work. The things I will say about it is don't worry if you get a fake or synthetic gem. It's about, if you can, soak it in moon water or spray it with some moon water. Charge it as soon as it's charged in the moonlight. Does it work nearly as well? No. But it will work if you're in a pinch and like trying to carry something around for good luck and you end up getting, duped and you end up with one. It doesn't necessarily mean it's no good. It's just, nowhere near the real deal. However, amylite, rainbow colors. Okay, thank you. Shell of fossil. Look it up because you can get a piece, I'm sure, really easily, especially where you live. What you want to do is, I like for it to touch the skin. So I always recommend my female clients wear it in their bra. Obviously, you can't do that. I'm sure you don't wear a bra, I don't think. Put it in your pocket, leave it in your glove box, get a necklace and hang it from your rear view if that's allowed. So, that would be good. I always recommend that people work with the crystals that come up because they really do make a difference. So what I'm seeing here for you in the next couple of weeks, Blue, is there's a couple things that stuck out to me. The first thing is the discord all around you. Don't get caught up in it. And I know that you normally wouldn't do that. So there's got to be a reason your team is bringing this up, right? It might be something that gets you to the point where you just can't be quiet anymore. Or like for you, I see it more as you standing up for someone that you see, someone being bullied or not treated fairly in your day-to-day. But the universe is like, you don't know the whole story. So make sure if you're going to defend or stick up for anyone, and I'm talking about not like, defending your friends on here, or like if we're talking and I'm upset, you coming to my aid. I'm talking about like in your actual day-to-day. Watch sticking up for people in the next 2 weeks, because I feel like somebody is not really manipulating you, but they're only telling you their side of the story as they choose to tell it. And it could end up causing you some problems, whether it be at work or with some friends or family. Just kind of sit this one out, like you can tell them like, oh, I'm sorry that happened or whatever. Just know, as I'm sure you do, there's 3 sides to every story and you don't want to get involved, because I feel like this is just a poop show that you don't need to be involved in, especially not right now with everything else you've got going on. I also see a situation that looks incredibly messy from the outside looking in. And I feel like if you were to speak about this situation to most people, they wouldn't get it. And they would try to sow discord and they would try to talk you out of, we'll use a romantic relationship just for an example. They would try to talk you out of it. They would not, they'd be adamant that it's not good. They'd be pointing out all the flaws in your significant I said poop show, significant other or prospective partner. The thing is, though, they don't need to know the who, what, when, where, why, and how. I mean, you can tell that to anyone you want, but just watch, because I feel like there are some people around you that you may think it's coming from someplace good. Okay, so this is like when Shauna passed away. And you were telling me, you're like, yeah, I can't believe it. This lady brought me dinner and this lady asked if I wanted to go and get coffee. And then this other lady, and you're like, all of these ladies are so nice. And I'm like, they're clearly hitting on you. Right? Like they were clearly hitting on you 9 times out of 10, but you didn't see it because you just thought people were being nice, and they were, but they were being nice for a reason. So you don't need anyone faking being on your side. You don't need fake support. You don't need fake people in general. And I just feel like if you tell too much of your business, I feel like in your overexcitement about something, or maybe you're overthinking about something, you could inadvertently just like say too much to where someone's like, whoa, wait a minute, what did you just say? And then they don't want to let it go. And it just makes things worse. Keep your personal to your person. just for the next couple of weeks, you know, continue making your plans. This messy situation is perfectly synergistic. It's exactly what it's meant to be, when it's meant to be, and going exactly the way it's supposed to be. But once you start putting too many cooks in the kitchen, the food ends up all screwed up. And that's what I see happening. There could end up being a hiccup in whatever this is. So if it's work, a love relationship, whatever the case, it could end up just being screwed up, not irreparably, but enough that it's like, why bother bringing in the damage, right? Just keep it to yourself and don't jump to anyone's defense in the next couple of weeks unless you absolutely know they're in the right and you really are willing to take the consequence of whatever that looks like, whatever jumping in for them looks like. Who's next?
Melissa.
Melissa, I'm going to use Creatrix Awakened. I may have to go turn my AC up. I am sweating with these lights on me. Latro, hey. The Jaguar Council. Card number 33, Audacity, Synergy, and Stewardship. So the Chimera Blues card was also a card of synergy. And now we have this one, synergy as well. Again, these cards are really in no particular order. I think they're on the page number of what they are. Yes, you know, there's no real way to know where the cards are. So be patient with me with this deck, guys, please. We're in Jaguar. Come on. Oh, was that it? No. Here it is. Okay. So that makes sense that card number 33 is on card 83, on page 83, I guess. The Jaguar Council beckons you to step into a sacred circle of fierce and wise leaders here to birth the new paradigm. As you enter this circle, you are enveloped by the energy of sisterhood, legacy, courage, and ancient wisdom. Melissa, imagine yourself surrounded by a circle of women gathered around a crackling fire deeply connected to the earth, their sisters, the ancestors, and the cosmos. Here, competition gives way to cooperation, and every choice and decision forges a new path toward a world in need of renewal. Embrace the essence of the feminine leadership. Stand shoulder to shoulder as guardians of the earth and initiators of change. Sovereignty, high priestess energy, and the creation of new timelines pulse through the Jaguar Council. They inspire you to embrace your leadership role, be the beacon for those awakening now, and unleash your feminine fire to break free from the constraints that hold you back and keep the collective on the brink of collapse. Smoochie, there you go. The Jaguar Council invites you to step forward, Melissa, to lead from the heart, to be recognized as a golden age feminine leader alongside other high priestesses in collaborative global councils. This is your call to commit to your role as a leader, to take on the responsibility of being a trailblazer, a medicine woman, or a sacred disruptor. It starts with self-leadership, leading your family, your community, and ultimately leading humanity forward. The Jaguar Council is here to support you on this journey, to be the living example of wholeness, full spectrum womanhood, co-creation, and divine service. Will you answer this call? So, hey, slow motion. So, Melissa, this is a calling to a higher purpose. And I know that we've talked about this a lot in the last, I would say, like year or so. I mean, we've been really on you separating yourself from the toxicity to the best of your ability and really trying to find somewhere else to put your energy, right? In the next couple of weeks, and I would go so far, which I normally don't do this, I would say for this summer, what's up, Jarvis? Keep your eyes open for an opportunity to become involved in something. So, for example, this could be something like Al-Anon, a DV survivors group. This is something where people are, I don't want to say like lower, vibrating lower, but due to outside influences. So again, people that are in addiction, there's something here that you really will be able to lend your wisdom to and really be able to be a part of and help people. Regardless of what your life looks like when this opportunity comes in, it is imperative that you get involved. Join whatever this is. It could end up being a church for all I know. You know, I don't know what your religious beliefs are. There's something here where there are a group of people and I see them just, you're just with them and energy is just flowing around all of you. It's like you're all connected by this one, by this common knowledge of something, right? I feel as though there's going to be pushback from the person and or people who maybe haven't treated you so well, who are the source of your trauma, who might be the reason why you have so much knowledge or wisdom about whatever this is. But that's why it's so important, because I feel like the universe has already tried, and this is not like an indictment on you or a judgment. The universe has already tried to send you, people, a new romantic partner, a new friend, guidance in other ways, and it really hasn't stuck. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's okay, because when we're in abusive situations, a lot of that kind of stuff, it's like we want to take those opportunities and take advantage of them so bad, but we fear. We have fear, and we're comfortable, and it's like, we don't want to get hurt, and we also don't, like, who has the time, right? But I feel like this is something that you're going to be just intuitively, primally drawn to. And you're going to have so much knowledge and love and wisdom to give and receive that this could be the thing that breaks those chains for you as far as your relationship. Managing game room, met so many people and get offers of all kinds of things. Yes. And there's going to be one thing that comes this summer. I wish I could say when. I don't want to say the next 1 to 2 weeks. I'm seeing it further down the line, but the line kind of stops at fall. So it's like in the next few months where you'll know what it is, because it'll be so attractive to you that you won't even think about any possible consequences. Right? It's just like, I know I'm doing this. That's it. You're not asking anyone's permission. You're not even telling anyone you're doing it. You're just making time for it in your life as though you would if it were a new job or a child or something very, very important. And the universe is like, look, if you turn your back on this, that's fine. But who knows when the next opportunity is going to come in. So keep meeting these people, keep making these connections, keep being who you are. The universe is working on something very big for you. It's going to be like a slow pulling away. Who's next?
Okay, next is Mr. Mark.
Mark, I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. What's up, MT Paranormal Life? Welcome. Sounds like there's like a low-flying helicopter outside. Weird. There you go, Smoochy girl. That's what I like to hear. Mark, you got the card of midnight, the most magical hour of all. The dark, it envelopes me. The witching hour awaits. True magic and enchantment and spells that change the fates. The middle of the night, midnight, is the hour in which it's believed that ghosts, witches, ghouls, and magic are most likely to be active. Transition times such as noon, the time between tides, or even dark moon are traditionally powerful times for magical transformation. MT, yeah, I wish. In some Christian traditions, the witching hour is seen as 3 a.m. because it's the opposite of the time that Jesus is said to have died, which was at 3 p.m. But there is some consensus that midnight is the time of greatest magic, particularly around Halloween. So what I've learned as a medium and psychic and everything that I do, I've learned that it's true. It's both, right? So 3 o'clock or 3:33 is the witching hour because it's when spirits are more active in general for things like seances, spirit calls, and things like that. I'm not encouraging y'all to do that. I'm just saying in my line of work, that's the time for that. Midnight, however, is more about, hold on, I think I'd said that backwards. So it's when spirits are most active at 3:33 or 3 o'clock without being called. So it's when they're just simply around. It's their time. It's like their morning, right? It's when they're getting up, getting active, getting started, particularly negative ones. Now, midnight is when, if you want to do a seance, a spirit call, use a Ouija board, that's the better time for that. So in my experience, it's both. And Edna, what's up, girl? Mark, as soon as the clock strikes midnight on Halloween, it's said that the spirits flow forward through the veil and, if benevolent, bring positive messages. If not so benevolent, they are mischievous and play tricks at best, or at worst, they cause havoc. Allow yourself to relax into the benevolent darkness of midnight. You may feel that this is your darkest hour, but know that the light will always return again. The dawn always follows the darkest night. Know, too, that it is important to recognize that we all have darkness within us, just as we have light, and this isn't something to hide from. So, Mark, I do feel like there's a part of you, whether you recognize it or not, it's coming in the next couple of weeks, if not, that is becoming, I want to say maybe jaded, or just like, it's not that you're giving up. I see it more as like just this radical acceptance of like whatever happens. It's like, whatever, like I've been through it all. You know, every time I get done dealing with one big thing, it's another big thing. And you know what? I'm done. Whatever the case may be, I am done. And while that energy is good in some areas and like for some things in your life, it's not really the most beneficial for you in the next couple of weeks. The universe is saying, don't just accept what comes. It's okay to feel downtrodden and to feel discouraged and even pessimistic. But with the dark always comes the light. And I said the other day, you know, the shade can't touch where the sun shines. So let people be shady, right? And that's kind of what this card is talking about for you as I read it intuitively and a little bit off book. This is saying like you have such a bright light and such a bigger connection because of how high you vibrate, all of the work that you've done with binaural beats, sound healing, all of the stuff that you've done. It's like, why would you just give up like that? Our teams understand emotion as in concept, right? So maybe talk to them. Talk to them as if you were someone who was like praying to Jesus. Like, I know when I pray, because I'm religious and, you know, I'm not telling y'all to be, I'm just using this as an example. I yell and scream and cry and stomp my feet. And, you know, why I don't understand this. And the universe is telling you to do that with your team. Like, explain to them what's going on and why you're feeling the way you're feeling and what your expectations are. Try to keep your expectations minimal. Because I feel like right now, as you kind of dip into this lower vibrational negative space, even if it's not in all areas of your life, it's like for some reason your manifesting abilities are going to be so on point that you could inadvertently manifest worse simply because you had a bad day. So, Mark, just protect your energy. Be very careful about low vibrating negative people, even if they're like, you know, on your periphery. Like, you just can't have that energy around you right now, because I feel like you are just kind of like, like, I don't, like, whatever. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I'm tired of hearing this person say that, or I'm tired of that person judging me there, or I'm tired of being sick all the time, or whatever the case may be. There could be some not so great news coming in as well in the next couple of weeks. And the universe is saying, let us test your faith in us. Us being the universe, your spirit team as well. Like, This is us testing your faith. Are you going to take it in stride, or are you going to completely break down? And I feel like the chance for breakdown is pretty major. And you know what, Mark? If that happens, that's perfectly fine. Just remember, working with your spirit team and delving and checking in with your instinct and intuition, it's like watching a tag team wrestling match. They cannot step in and help you unless you ask them to, specifically, succinctly, and directly. And that's what you need to do. You need to just let it all out and let them know what's going on. They can see your energy, but sometimes they don't understand the nuance of human emotion, human disease, human sickness and illness, and the evils, right? They get it, but they don't get it. So we have to explain it. And someone that's vibrating as high as you are with all the work you've done, you know, it's going to be really beneficial for you to explain this stuff.
Next is Jules, but I don't know if she's still here.
Julie girl, you still here? She'll pop back in if she's not.
So you want me to wait?
No, she'll pop back in.
Okay, so she's next.
Right, but who's after her? Because she'll pop back in.
That's what I was asking. Heather B, are you still in here?
I didn't even see her. Oh,
yes,
Heather, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Heather. Put her to the side. She might pop back in and ask for a timestamp as well.
Okay.
Oh, she's here. She's here. Heather's here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Do her then.
All right. Heather, I'm so sorry I didn't greet you. I did not see you come in. And you definitely do. A lot of us do. And that's why we're all, when we get together every Friday, like we're all kind of spontaneously activating. Kelly Lewis, what's up, girl? All right, Miss Heather. I'm going to use the Wonderland Oracle. Kelly and Edna and anyone else who's over there showing support, thank you so much for your support on TikTok. I'm really trying to push myself out over there. It's not easy. I get a lot of hate, a lot of bullying, a lot of body shaming, even more so than on YouTube. I do appreciate it. I see all of you over there. Like I said, I've been on top of my comments on all 3 platforms. And 4 actually with Facebook, and I really do appreciate it. All the love on YouTube. I've been getting more comments, and it just means the world to me, because once I can get, start making a living off of this again. For a while I was doing so good, and then all of a sudden it was just like everything just, I don't know what happened. I know you did. Anna just joined to support me, and that is so amazing. No, Blue, you don't need a toilet for that. Well, I don't know. It affects everyone in a different way, so maybe. All right, Heather, you've got manage to be glad, card number 43 in the upright. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. Guys, also Monday in the pre-recorded, we're going to be talking about the Carter brothers. They were vampires in New Orleans in the 1930s, and they were known vampires because of a horrific crime they committed, allegedly, and they're still cited to this day. So I wanted to cover that. It'll be a quick, I think it's like a 15-minute and some odd second video, but it's so interesting. You guys know how I feel about vampires. Okay. Heather, I wish I could manage to be glad, the Queen said, only I never can remember the rule. You must be very happy living in this wood and being glad whenever you like. The Queen is almost berating Alice, imagining her to be happy whenever she wishes, thinking that the business of being happy is simple. As the Queen, she feels it's not simple for her, but she wants to manage to be glad, except, as she says, she cannot remember the rule. Is there a rule to happiness? Is there a way to manage to be glad? When this card comes to you, Heather, there are 2 possibilities, just as there are 2 slithy toads in the painting. So those skunks, I guess, are called slithy toads. The first is that others assume your life is simpler, easier, and that happiness comes more readily to you. There is the implication that they have it harder and must struggle to be happy. This isn't the case at all. Your happiness has been earned. In some ways, you've created it by directing your thoughts and impulses towards the steady creation of happiness. What's up, Mama Cindy? The second possibility is that you must learn how to be happy. Having joy in our lives is not just good fortune, circumstance, or temperament. It comes through the careful management of our thoughts and deeds so that we nurture the possibility of joy and move ever closer to happiness. Don't let others steal your joy or imply that being joyful means you're not as serious, deep, or hardworking as they are. Happiness is often hard earned. We must find it amidst the most troubling of challenges. Alice has learned to do this despite being lost and everything around her being so unpredictable. We too can manage our happiness and defy those who claim it's more difficult for them. We can all do this no matter our lot in this life. Divination, your happiness is in your own hands, Heather. It is something which can be managed, nurtured, and grown. Acknowledgement that life can be very difficult and challenging, but you're being asked to grow the happiness you long for out of your magical will and desire to once again feel joy. I just spit on myself, full disclosure. All right, it's too hot. Okay, so Heather, I do feel like you're in a catch-22. The way that I'm seeing this is it's a little bizarre, but I totally understand it. Somebody around you despises your happiness. And one of the reasons is, and I think we've spoken about this person many times before, is that they're jealous. They're very jealous that you decided to take the initiative and go back to school. They're jealous that people like you, that you have genuine friends, right? Who know the real you. With narcissists and most kinds of toxic people, they don't like seeing anybody have real relationships because they know that they can never form anything more than surface and superficial relationships. The problem that I foresee for you in the next couple of weeks, and it may already be happening, Heather, is that it's overbearing and overwhelming when every time you're happy about something, you're excited about something, you're feeling good about anything at all, this person tries to take it from you. Okay, I think I told you guys last week about the YouTube short I did about Boom Boom Sticks, the TikTok. And I was, criticized for it. It was like, because I mentioned that when I was 17, I did ecstasy. So I was on the internet bragging about doing drugs. Like, it was just like, this person could never say anything good to you. And I feel like what the universe is trying to teach you is like, be your own validation. And while I know this is really crappy, and it's a really crappy way to live, and I'm going to pray for you that it's not indefinite, right? That it ends and ends soon. I will say that for the time being, I'm just wiping something off my screen. What the universe wants you to do is just validate yourself. Like, keep as much from this person as possible, because anything negative that you might be upset about, you may need support in, you're really needing to be close to someone, you're not going to get what you're looking for in this person, because they're not the person they originally presented to you that they are. That was all a facade and a lie. They were mirroring your amazingness and your beauty and your light. They were just mirroring that because that's what narcissists and other types of toxic people do. So the universe is like, in the next 2 weeks, no matter what your good news is, and I wish it were a troll and not somebody in my house that I was just talking about. In the next couple of weeks, I feel like you're going to get really good news. And I feel like, though, instead of being like super duper happy and super excited and really just like, this is amazing as it is, it's like you're going to be stressed out because it's like, great, now so-and-so is going to find out and they're definitely going to ruin it for me. They're going to suck the joy out of it, or they're going to judge me, or they're going to criticize me, or they're going to pick it apart. If you can't keep the news from them, you have got to find a way to protect yourself from them doing this for you, right? Or to you, I mean. So, for example, tell a whole bunch of people that are actually supportive. That way, when this person tries to flip the script and make it sound like it's not that great, when I got 6.5 years, this person was like, congratulations, you now have for 6.5 years not done something most of the population never does. Like that. So I surrounded myself with people that knew it was a major accomplishment and something really hard that I accomplished, that I worked hard for. So that when this person tried to make it seem small, I knew it wasn't just me going crazy. I knew it was a big accomplishment, and it was, the problem was them, not me, right? I had to be reassured of that because they make us feel like we're crazy. So that's the type of situation I see you in the next couple of weeks, moving into a month. Heather, be really mindful of that, because I don't want this person to take whatever this is away from you. Not that they can take the opportunity or the chance, but just the feeling of, I feel like intense pride and just like, yeah, you know, I did that. I accomplished that. They're showing me when I wrote my first book, when I had my held the first copy of my first book. And that was an amazing, incredible feeling. And I danced and I was so happy. And this person went, and threw it on the table and left it there. There was never any more discussion about it. Don't let that happen to you, because I feel like it could really take you out of your zone and bring you back down. And you're up here, you're vibrating so high, you're doing such amazing things, that it would really be unfair of you to let somebody do that to you. Life with Bobby, what's up, girl?
Next is Divine. Are you still here, Divine?
Divine. That's okay, Julie girl. Do you want me to read for you after Divine and kind of get you out? Or I could try to do a timestamp later on. You let me know. You're welcome, Heather. Thank you. And I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. We've come a long way from Rossi's, girl. Let me tell you. Our Rossi's days. Jules, do you want, thank you, Divine. Jules, do you want me to, Divine just gave you her spot. Do you want me to do that really quick? I'm getting your favorite deck out. Jeez. Looks like another one for the prayer list. Julie girl, I'm going to read for you right now. Thank you again, Divine. That was very sweet of you. Jules, you got this. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Just let Ghosty know when you come back in. Whenever you're ready, we'll still be here. All right, so Divine, we'll read for you, and we'll wait the half hour for our Julie girl. Eris, what's up, girl? All right, Divine, it's myths and mermaids tonight. Eris, it occurred to me the other day that I forgot to do your reading. So I'm going to add you in with the summer readings, okay? I have you on my list, so. Because I offered to do it for you because of all of the miscommunication and issues I was having getting back to you and all that. And then I didn't write it down. So that's my apologies, and I have you on my list. Yeah, and I mean, when someone knows what they're doing, right? When someone is true to their craft, that's always amazing when that happens. I worry about a lot of the, TikTok mediums. It's okay to say, I'm just a person who reads tarot, because there are people that don't really have extrasensory ability. They just read what's in the book and interpret the message, right? They tell you what the book says, period. I think that's lazy, because everyone has the ability to channel, right? But it is what it is. But what I start to worry is when people won't admit that, and they try to say they have some kind of psychic or other mystical spiritual ability, and they don't. And they're out there making hundreds of dollars an hour. And I'm just like, is that what it's going to take? Right? Gaslighting people and lying and clickbaiting them. I just can't do it. Nordland, what's up? All right, Divine, you got Stranded, card number 38 in the upright. That is a beautiful card. Alone and stuck in a gnarled tree on a deserted island, a melancholy mermaid stares into the distance, oblivious to the sunset rising behind her. She's pale and lost in reverie. She's isolated and lonely. But why? Divination message. Stop isolating yourself, girl. You may feel deserted, but it's a self-imposed isolation. What you see as rejection is all in your mind. Others are not avoiding you. You're avoiding them, preemptively preventing them from avoiding and rejecting you. It's not healthy to avoid relationships and interactions for fear of losing a loved one or of becoming embarrassed. It's time to step off the island you've created for yourself and join the rest of society. Make contact with a friend you have been avoiding. Go back to the classes and meetings you bowed out of, and wisely invest in a new mode of transportation so you can talk again once again with the world. The world is waiting for you. It's up to you to take the first step. So, Divine, I don't think you're isolating. I see you like involved in many different things. And when you're a parent, especially of a child like my son's age or your daughter's age, it's not really possible to isolate. Trust me, I've tried. Eris, that is very true. So what I do see here, though, and you might say, no way, and that's okay, because sometimes the universe really surprises us. And, you know, again, your free will is going to dictate whether or not this happens. I see this being maybe romantic. That doesn't mean you're meeting the absolute love of your life and you're going to get married and have babies and all these. You're meeting a romantic interest. And I feel like this person is charted for you to meet at this time to teach you and them a lesson. So whether you reject them, that might be the lesson that you both need to learn. But I do feel there's potential here, even if I can't see past the next few months, for something real to really grow and to bring back your confidence in certain areas. And also to teach you not to compare. I feel like with everything you've been through, and I know this from personal experience as well, it's almost impossible not to compare the new person with the old abuser. So even if this person's just a stepping stone for that, even if you end up friend zoning them, they are coming in though as a romantic interest. That could also mean they're romantically interested in you and you're not romantically interested in them. But there is some lesson to be learned here. And the universe is kind of warning you, like, don't just immediately blow this person off. If you're not like physically attracted to them, still get to know them. And I feel like this is the universe kind of pointing you in the right direction. If someone maybe you're not that attracted to asks you out, it's like, oh, okay, I remember what Gemma said. Let me get to know this person. Obviously, do your homework. Don't ride in cars with strangers. But you know what I'm saying? Give somebody a chance, because I feel like whatever this ends up being is going to be super duper important as a stepping stone into when you finally do get into a serious romantic relationship again, whenever that may be. I hate to say this is like a practice person, but right now this is kind of what that looks like. And I feel like they're fine with that, like with taking you on a date and just hanging out. I feel like this is a genuine person who really does have your best interests at heart and who's not going to try to pull any bull. From what I see, just be honest with them, but don't shut them out simply because there's a romantic interest there, especially after, again, being in abuse for so long, and then you're on your own and it's like this freedom. You don't ever want to let that go ever again, because you remember what it's like to have been shackled, but not everyone will do that, and people only, in the beginning at least, people can only have and gain the control that you allow them to. So you already know what it looks like early on. So you're not going to allow that to happen again anyway. So who's next? Oh, and because you're beautiful.
And Edna's next.
So Divine, yeah, of course you're going to be hesitant, especially again with like that taste of freedom, right? But just remember, not everyone is trying to take that away. And I do feel there's a chance in the next month or two that somebody is coming in who I think you are going to be interested in. I don't know if you're going to be interested to the point where you're going to let it get very far, but I feel like it's going to really help. For some reason, I'm seeing, a building up of confidence is really important to something else that you're doing right now. So, take the opportunity. Just, again, be honest from the door. And I'm going to use the Oracle of Shadows and Light. Don't fall for potential. Eris, that's so true. I always tell people, stop dating the potential, which is, by the way, hypocritical because it's something I've done my whole life, but I can tell you I'll never do it again. You're going to prove to me that you are who you say you are. And I have no problem doing the same, right? I'm not ever going to ask for anything I'm not willing to give. Whether I'm able to give it or not is a different story, but, I'm always willing. All right. And Ghost of the Pumpkin Patch. Count your blessings. Card number 1. No. Well, they babble. They booble and babble. And this adorable and forlorn little figure is almost transparent, so still and quiet that you may overlook her, thinking you have just seen a wisp of mist go trailing past. When really, all the time, this little ghost is silently standing before you, gently reminding you of something very important. That it soon will be time to harvest again, and the ghost of harvests missed in the past will come back to haunt you if you do not take your time and look around right now at all that is. She's not invisible, and she's always there, a reminder that the seasons turn, that the harvest must be brought in, and that those who stay with the earth a while are not always here to haunt you negatively. They're here to help you till their work is done. This little ghost loves her misty home, adores appearing to you when you have forgotten your blessings and your rights, and appears at exactly the right time in your life when you've nearly forgotten how lucky you are. The ghost of the pumpkin patch speaks. Something that is a blessing is being overlooked. It appears cloaked and seems almost invisible to you. I'm just going to say I don't see it like that. I see it as it's not so much cloaked and nearly invisible as it is disguised. You must stand in your field, that is to say your life, and look around you and see all that has been given to you again and give thanks for it. You're forgetting how much you truly have and how much you will have again and again. My time is the harvest. It's now time to bring in out or harvest the joy and love of what you have so much of and share your abundance. Divination message. Something precious is all around you, but it's become so familiar you can't see it anymore. It's such a fixture in your life that familiarity has bred, if not contempt, a kind of blindness. The beautiful little girl ghost in the pumpkin patch asks you very gently to see the abundance all around you and to appreciate that while you are in physical form, there is so much you can enjoy. She wishes for you to harvest what's yours now and also to take steps in calling any debts. There can be outstanding money issues associated with this card, and share the bounty. Don't let anyone cheat you. And know that you don't own a single thing. In truth, it will all pass through your hands. But still, ironically, these things you have earned through your hard work are worth protecting. You're welcome, sweetie. They're not too small. They're not too ordinary. You have more material wealth than you think. So please do count your blessings and do it every day. So, Anna, you would be the last person, along with most people in here, that I would think of when I think of an ungrateful person. That's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is there's a negative situation that I feel has been so heavy. So heavy on your mind and your heart and your spirit for so long. You have no problem standing up for yourself. You have no problem telling it like it is, but it still bothers you that, this has to be the way it is. And I feel like this is the universe telling you, like, take heart. This is a blessing in disguise, right? It's so meant to be, because if you hadn't gone through what you went through with this person, things would be even worse. Also, if anyone owes you money, I would say get it back from them, obviously, and soon. If somebody's trying to not pay you back, whether it be money or something, if somebody owes you something and they're trying to avoid you, dodge you, manipulate the situation, don't stand for that. I feel like it's going to set a dangerous precedent, and it's only going to boil your blood. Flip the script. Yes. And the universe is saying, this is a blessing, and you will see it as that as soon as the time is right. For right now, this struggle, this intense, internal battle all the time between heart and mind and will and won't, it's necessary for your growth. It's something that you charted in. But if you really look at the situation, how lucky are you that this is what's going on, and that, you know, you're not still super duper close with this person, that you didn't lend this person, you know, $10,000 or co-sign their house or vehicle. Like, you got off so easy, right? And the universe kind of wants you to see it like that and stand your ground. If somebody's trying to cheat you, do everything you can to make sure they don't. But again, take that as a lesson. I feel like you're giving, particularly of, Carrie, hold that thought, please. I feel like you're giving, particularly of your spirit and your energy, has just become too much. You're giving way too much, and there's not enough reciprocity. And I see in the next couple of months that making you very bitter, at least towards one person, at least, where it's like, you know, this person only counts things if it's like financial or like a gift. They don't see all the effort and energy and love and time and everything else that you've been putting into either them or something, some whatever. And instead of letting that turn you bitter towards them, the situation, or in general, talk to them before this happens. So I feel like the moment you start to feel this way, or the moment you feel like that's going to be a thing, you need to open up and let the person know you're not going to tolerate it. And you might see that they walk away and they're like, I don't need this. Or they'll change their ways. You know, I always say mind over matter. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And I mean that so genuinely every time I say it, because it's so true. Don't let a situation of someone taking advantage of you or taking you for granted go even further than it already has. Put your foot down. So, Carrie, the way this works is we go in order, first come, first serve, and you did get here in time, so that's awesome. And what I do is I just randomly pull a card from a random deck that your team picks. I will try to answer your question, but it's one card, so I usually don't get that much information, but normally I'm able to answer a question. So if you hang tight, wait till I call your name, or you'll find your name in the chat when it's your turn. We can see what we can come up with for you. Guys, give me a second. For some reason, my phone is dinging and it's doing it over and over, which means someone's trying to contact me and it might be important. So give me a second.
Next is Kelly Lewis. Could you please let me know you're here? Please, Kelly Lewis, let me know you're here. And then after Kelly Lewis will be Batmom, then New England. We'll just go right in order. And
it's my dad, guys. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. And I should be here tomorrow night, as far as I know. Gemma's replays. And Jared, if you're still around, let me know.
Jared said he had to leave.
Okay, I didn't see that. Thank you. So it'll be Kelly Lewis, the Batmom, Nutter, however you want to
Kelly
say
Lewis,
it.
Batmom, Netter.
And Uso.
Who?
Uso, however you say his name. I say Uso.
Oh, Urso.
Uso.
All right, Kelly, I'm going to use Goddess Power. Is Kelly still here?
She hasn't answered back. I've called her not only in chat, but twice here. I said her name a couple times back. So, Kelly, let us know you're here, please.
All right, let's give her a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smoochie, as soon as it's your turn, honey, I'll call you. I got you, girl. All right, I don't see Kelly answering. Maybe she'll pop up in a little bit if you want to put her name to the side. Who was after her? Urso?
Next would be Batmom.
Batmom, are you still here?
I know she's been coming and going, so I don't know. We'll give her a couple seconds, and if not, just go ahead and do Nutter if he's still here. So you'll have to do him next because he was going to be after Batmom. You just want to go ahead and do him, and if she pops in,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna read
yeah,
for
that's
someone
fine. I don't want to make you wait.
They'll probably come back in. All right, New England Dirt Roadie. I'm just using Deep, Dark, and Dangerous for you because you said that's your favorite deck. So yeah, that's true. And you would be tough if your name was Pumpkin. If your name was Princess, you'd still be tough. Yeah, and it says this has nothing to do with money. This is a life lesson. If you're going to make the same mistake over and over again, learning nothing, I can't help you. It's not my lesson to learn. Yeah, and I'm surprised at the message that's like count it as a blessing. I've got to be honest, the way it's coming in, it's so funny because it figures it would be your spirit team. It's coming in as sarcastic. Like the way they're telling me to tell you this is like, dodged a bullet there, but I feel like because they see that you're still hurting over it and your heart wants to put effort in and keep trying, but your spirit understands there's just, there's nothing you can do. And it's so funny because I normally don't get sarcastic teams. I get sarcastic spirits around me and ghosts sometimes and other entities, but not usually spirit guides, which that's pretty funny that it would be yours. Don't forget, everyone, I need donations for RJ's birthday present. Pop them in PayPal or Cash App if you can. Otherwise, do the things like subscribe, put the bell on, because then, watch the videos all the way through, comment at least 7 characters, because that helps build up my pay for the end of the month, even if you can't donate. So, okay, Netter, you got Valkyrie, the card of choice. Card number 42, it is dangerous. I don't know, Netter. So 2 or 3 weeks ago at soccer, I saw one lightning. We've had a couple thunderstorms here where I live. I'm not going to say it publicly, but in this town, we had probably only like 1 or 2, though. Not many. We had a ton of rain, but like 1 or 2 thunderstorms. I think it was only 1. Yeah. None by you? That's crazy. Yeah, it's just funny because, again, it doesn't normally happen with those particular entities. Netter, you have control over yourself only, and you can choose your thoughts and actions. It's never too late to change. You can transform your fears. Be courageous, even though you might be fearful. The battlefield of the ancient Norse was not a pretty place. For Viking warriors upon the battlefield, the incentive to fight bravely until death was what came after. While we often hear the idea of our lives flashing before us at the time of death, what Norse warriors hoped would be there was most likely, and for some, hopefully, a beautiful yet terrible Valkyrie. Valkyries took the form of women in battle dress, sometimes winged, often on a mighty horse, eyes flaming and singing a song of blood and glory. The Valkyries were the Valkyries were the chooser of the slain and were present at every battle of the Norse. Their primary service was to select the most worthy and bravest of the dead warriors, the Einherjar, and spirit them to the Valhalla with the god Odin, or to reside with the goddess Freya in her hall, the Falkvanger, which means battlefield. Yeah, I know you like these cards. Who's the artist? Kinga Britschke. There are Valkyries. The Valkyries would joyfully serve the Iron Jar mead until their final battle Ragnarok alongside the gods. While there was the idea that the Valkyries were beautiful and incandescent in appearance, the older descriptions referred to them as Odin's ravens, dark, black in clothing, screaming wildly and dripping with blood. Later, they became much more beautiful and benevolent, still powerful, yet almost a kind of reward for supreme bravery and dying for tribe. Zargo, you still here, babe? The choice of dying for others, of not running away, of protecting a colleague, or of choosing courage, even though they may have been full of fear, is the power the Valkyries rewarded. They're urging to exhibit courage in the way we enact our lives and to release ourselves from the heavy bonds of regret are powerful lessons to learn. Your plant companion is Arctic Thyme, and your crystal companion is Ruby, which is one of my favorites, by the way, the July birthstone. So, yeah. Netter. There's definitely another. She said she had to go tend to her pops, but then she came back in. Okay, she's here. Netter, I feel like there's definitely a choice to be made here. And it's a major one. Even if it doesn't seem major from the outside looking in, I feel like what this decision means to you is a big deal. But I feel as though you're reluctant to actually make a choice. Whatever your fears may be, and I do feel like one of them is like, I always make the wrong decision. Or like, what if it doesn't work out? And the universe says, you don't always make the wrong decision. You always make the right decision. You just don't see that it's right for maybe a long time down the line. And what if it does work out? You know, this is the universe telling you now, do not sit in procrastination, deadlocked about a decision that deep down inside, you know what you want or what you want to do or which one you choose. You know the answer for yourself. I think the thing is you're second guessing yourself because of everything that you've been through, right? The universe is telling you, and it's something I've said 1,000 times throughout the last 4 years I've been doing this stream. Not making a decision is making one. Because the longer you procrastinate, the universe has to step in and make the decision for you. If the universe has to make the decision for you, you have effectively shown it that you are incapable, which means you did not learn the necessary lessons from all the BS you've gone through and were put through and survived. You didn't learn enough to make this seemingly simple decision according to the universe, which means they're going to make the decision that comes with the most heartache, pain, trouble for you, not to punish you, to make it so that the next time something like this comes along, you learned your lesson and you're not going to ignore red flags, your gut instinct or intuition anymore. Because when you ignore those things, you're ignoring your guides, you're ignoring your team. You know, most of us don't audibly hear our spirit teams, our guides, angels, ancestors, deceased loved ones. Most of us. I'm lucky that I do. I'm very fortunate. And most of the time it's telepathic. Sometimes it's like a person in my ear, but most people can't. So how do they contact you? In an emergency, in the heat of the moment, you're about to get hit by a car. They scream and it vibrates in your energy, which is what instinct and intuition is. In the next couple of weeks, don't ignore it. You know, when if the time comes to make a major decision, just make it, knowing that you've made the best decision for you. And who cares if it does or doesn't work out? It's going to work out in the long run anyway, because of the lessons learned. And honestly, I don't think you're making the wrong decision here. Once you finally choose, if you go with your gut instinct and intuition, your primal knowledge of the situation and where you should be, what you should be doing and why, you're going to make the right decision because you know what that is. You have learned the lesson. So don't procrastinate so long that the universe and your team thinks you haven't. And then you've got to go back and redo it all. Netter, you got this. You are so much smarter than you give yourself credit for. And you're so much more spiritually connected than you give yourself credit for. I know that for a fact because I saw you face to face in person and sat next to you in your car, and there's no escaping me seeing it. Who's next? Blue, I bet.
How about that? Uso.
All right. So let's do... we're going to do the Vampire Oracle. Ew, who eats vanilla? You're a vanilla guy. When I was little, I always thought the kids that chose vanilla over chocolate were so weird. Like, why would you not want chocolate? I mean, obviously now as an adult, I understand that like people have, like, I just never understood it as a kid. I got you, Smoochie. You are the reason I take that deck out in case Smoochie Girl wants a card. So I got you. I'm only kidding. If I get vanilla though, like I'm a, I'm a little agitated with Wendy's right now because when I first started door dashing with them a few months ago, they had the brownie batter frosties, but they had chocolate brownie batter frosty. After the first time I ordered it, they only have vanilla brownie batter frosty. So when it gets there, I have to put chocolate syrup in it. I do not like plain vanilla ice cream. I don't have a Sasquatch deck. I have a deck that has Sasquatch in it, but it's buried over there and I don't feel like taking it out. I cleanse my decks all the time. Kelly Lewis, we called you like 74 times, but I knew you were going to pop back in. So just hang out a minute or two or a couple minutes and I'll get you read. I'm doing Urtho, Smoochie, and then you. Okay, so I don't want this card to cause any controversy. Mark, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming in. Let me read the card, let me read what the book says, and let me interpret it, okay? Don't just hear the word and jump on me. I know most of y'all won't. People at home listening afterwards who didn't join the live, sit down, okay? All right. A shapeshifter. Maybe. So you got the card of religion, card number 37, canon, rules, and commandments. And this might have nothing at all to do with actual religion. That's why I read intuitively. Religion has been through so much with you humans. We have watched it change moment to moment, it would seem. Every 1,000 years or so, your gods have changed, your faiths have changed, and people everywhere have died again and again for the rightness of all that you say is right and true. We watch and wonder, for we too have this within us. The world in which we lived as humans has stamped us, marked us, and even now, we find ourselves moved, possibly, at the sight of the cross or drawn to a cathedral where countless pilgrims have worshipped. And yet we wonder at this thing called religion, for you have made vows not only in this life as one of the many born, you are unlike us. You can recall the lives of long ago, and at times our vows and structures you have carried with you from life to life. The tattered remnants of belief and the sharp knives of punishment follow you lifetime after lifetime. And all the while you say, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But you are religious. There is much about you that's nun, monk, apostle, pilgrim, abbot, priest, shaman. You are and have been so much, so many things, and religion has been drunk in at your mother's breasts and formed so much of who you are. Become aware, we say, of this. No longer deny this, we ask. For you, unlike us, will be born again and again and again. And when you understand what it is this framework of understanding the world has given to you and what it has stolen from you, you will come to a place where your own soul has room to breathe. Blessing, the structure and family feeling of revealed religions can feel safe and sacred for many. They can also harness great energies which can be directed for good. There's also great beauty in the rites and rituals, histories, and traditions. Curse, the need to adhere to strict beliefs means most souls will give their power away and their connection to the divine with it. Power concentrates in the hands of the few, and it can be abused. Working with this card, learn more of the world's religions and begin to understand what has influenced your own life, your own culture, even your laws and the conditions under which you personally live. While this may sound exhausting, it will be helpful as you begin to understand a difference between personal ethics, faith, and connection, and a religion that was revealed to another and which you have been ordered, even indirectly, to make your own. Now it's time to examine your heart and say, this is mine, this is what I worship, this is what I love. So, okay. I'm going to point out the obvious. We don't want to be joining any cults or anything like that. It came to me, I swear. They're like, so not that I think you actually are. The gist of what they're showing me is like, be really careful with things like this, actually. I'm going to be honest with you. with things like what I do online. Take the religion aspect, how you take it. I'm technically not allowed to speak publicly about religion, or they could shut my channel down. They could strike this video. There are so many things that could happen. So I'm going to read intuitively about the wider idea of this card. In the next couple of months specifically or so, I want you to be really careful about being pulled in. Sorry, I love my boom boom stick. By grifters. I mean, that's all I'm seeing here is like, give me money, give me money, give me money. So it's like, if you believe in a cause, of course, give whatever you can to that cause. But I'm seeing social media in particular, okay? Make sure that you're not pulled into something where you're in over your head, or where you didn't understand what it was all about when you got involved, okay? I feel like there could be trouble ahead if you're not really, really careful about getting involved in organizations and clubs, especially about a religious nature, whether it's New Age, whatever it is. I feel like you're going to come up against a very deceitful group, or one deceitful person around a group who's not being genuine, right? Who's kind of just making it up as they go along. Be really careful, like, whose chat room you find yourself in. And they're showing me to let me understand they're talking about online mediums, online seers, online readers, you know, the people that do the Ouija board online. That is so dangerous. But all right. So I told it's Smoochie, Kelly, and Jules. Is that okay? Okay. So Smoochie, I've got human spirit for you. Kelly, we're using goddess power, and Jules, we're going to use divine circus. Or so, yeah, I mean, it frustrates me to no end. As I said before, I see these swindlers making so much money and these grifters getting so much attention. And I'm just like, you know, I feel like I'm punished sometimes for trying to be honest and trying to actually help people. You know, I was contacted by someone that's like, you know, your thumbnails need to be more clickbaity. That's literally what they said. They're like, on the point system for thumbnails on YouTube videos, like, to lie in the thumbnail is like one of the things that gives you a point. I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I would hate to do that. I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't have nearly as many subscribers as I feel I should for the amount of work I put into this channel, but I just can't compromise like that. I could lose my ability if I did. If I started lying to people and like messing around and making it about money. Speaking of which, don't forget to donate to PayPal and Cash App so I can get RJ's birthday gift. Yay, thank you. All right. Smoochie, let's see what's up. What goes around comes around in the reverse shadow position, and it's card number 4. Ouch. Ever heard of karma? What kind of energy have you been tossing out into the universe lately, Smoochie? Is it the best possible version of yourself that you want to show, or are you walking around putting out poppycock? Literally says that. I'm sure you're saying to yourself, come on, we all have off days, but even in those moments, we can make a conscious choice to send out a boomerang of what we hope to get back karmically. Remember, we're all in this together. We've heard that a lot recently, but the plain truth of it is we are all we have, all of us together. So the collective. So you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Do you wake up and go to your local coffee shop and sneer and mutter because they are out of oat milk? Do you take it out on the barista, for example? Remember, you just put that negative energy out into the universe and now may have made another person have a lousy morning because of it. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, think of all the blessings you have or could receive today instead of spreading around your hogwash. Rude. Remember, what you put out into the universe may not come back today, but it will eventually make its way back to you. So don't get stuck on a merry-go-round of malarkey. Send out some kindness, some love, and some peace. Smoochie, I actually don't blame you for if there's been a shift in your personality, maybe to like something lower than it was for a while. You have so much going on, and it happens to all of us, right? I feel like what the universe is trying to say, though, it's not trying to judge you or indict you, you know, or tell you have to put up with anyone's crap. It's suggesting to you that, I don't want to say be the bigger person, but it's suggesting to you, like, try to find people to talk to or be around, or places to be, or things you can do, whether with someone, a group of people, or alone, that put you in a higher vibrating spirit and mood. Right? If you stay in the same spot and you're miserable all the time, you're so welcome, Urso. Thank you for coming in. All you're going to feel is misery. And then you're going to have no choice but to put it out, because that's all there is. This is the universe, Smoochie, telling you in the next few months, try to have some fun and enjoy life, even in little simple ways. And not in ways that are going to harm your health or your reputation or cause you to lose friends. You know, it's really sensitive because I don't want to put this like you're being judged, because nobody has the right to judge anybody, and the universe and our teams don't judge us. We've all been through it. What's up, Deedles? Happy Friday the 13th. But the universe is like, calm down, slow down, and take a look around you. You know, try to find one thing that you're so incredibly grateful for and try to focus on that. And when you start to feel like you're going to snap or lose it, first of all, don't hold it in. If it's, you know, pain where you're going to cry, I go into the bathroom usually and scream and cry into a towel. So, you know, do something like that. You can't just keep holding it in. First of all, that is how disease builds and spreads throughout the body. And I mean physical disease. So, you know, spiritual dis-ease usually equals physical disease, not always. And I feel like that is the major warning here, Smoochie, is that like if you don't kind of pull it together a little bit and allow yourself to feel happiness, to be happy for others, to genuinely want to see someone else succeed, and to look at people who are making your life miserable like they're so pathetic for doing that, getting away from people like that, and really counting, like I said, just one blessing to bring you back down to earth, and like to see that like the universe is good, life can be good. I know that sounds corny and cliche, and I know it's touchy, but your team is worried about you, especially the karma cookies you've been putting in the karma cookie jar. I feel like it's justified, honestly, from one human to another. You've just had enough. But I feel like now it's getting to be like, instead of you're just like snapping or reacting and responding to someone else's crap, now it's like you're just always like that, or at least like that more than you're not. And that's when the universe, you know, your energy is off balance and you have to shift back to your higher vibration. Otherwise, you just go lower and lower, and then you leave yourself open to not only physical disease, but more spiritual dis-ease and psychic and spiritual attack. And now I'm talking entity attachment and attack. Bring your vibration up however you can, whatever makes you happy, that doesn't also harm you. All right, Miss Kelly, are you still here? I got you, girl. All right, we're using Goddess Power. Deirdre, it's so nice to see you. I'm so glad to see you posting more. Thank you for representing my boxes. I do appreciate it. I could definitely use more people ordering those. And I'll be happy to see you next Friday. Flexes. And absolutely. That was an uncomfortable reading, but I hope, you know, I just want Smoochie to feel better too. From one human to another, from one woman who's struggled and suffered most of my life to another, you know. Absolutely, Smoochie girl. Anyone that is vampirically feeding on you, boy, bye, girl, bye, bye, bye. I just can't anymore. It's hard. It is hard, but once you train your spirit to disengage and like disconnect, it's all bets are off. Then like the possibilities for you are endless because you're no longer being fed off of 24/7. That could put anybody in a crappy mood. Thank you, Miss Deedles. Okay, Kelly, you got Bronwyn, the card of forgiveness. I remember I went to high school with a girl named Bronwyn. Bronwyn Davis, her name was actually. I wasn't friends with her or anything. She had a little brother I was friends with. All right, you got it in the upright. Thank you, Miss Deedles. I appreciate that. I got to get RJ's birthday present. Kelly, in the upright position, Bronwyn, forgiveness. Sometimes life invites us into conditions that challenge us to the core. As the Celtic goddess Bronwyn forgave those who caused her own death by a broken heart, she asks you to set yourself free from the seeds of resentment that will surely choke the life out of your dreams. Today is also National Goddess Day. Kelly, we are wounded by others and weave stories about our hurts and losses that live on in our hearts and minds. We come to distrust the potential of love and connection. No matter what your story is or when it began, forgiveness is the key to freedom. Forgiveness always allows for mending and repair, opening the heart to give and receive. If you need to forgive yourself or others, do it now. Keep your heart open and you can begin again. Only beauty, freedom, and treasure are found in the spirit of forgiveness. The goddess Bronwyn is here to support you. So, Kelly, it's not so much that anything romantic is coming in, right? Maybe it is. Jules, no, you're next. You're after this one. But it's like the universe is saying, don't let your future or your present be defined by your past. And that's really, really hard to do. Once you've trusted enough times in any area of your life to any capacity and you've been let down and, you know, manipulated and whatever they lied to, it's kind of a humbling experience, you know? And I feel like the universe is telling you you're missing out on a lot right now that you may not even know, you may not even recognize or realize it. And the reason is because you're closed off. You're closed off to the idea of people being genuine, right? Somebody say genuinely wanting to help you, or somebody genuinely offering you something, or someone genuinely being interested in taking you out. It's just you, it's not that you're hopeless, because you're optimistic in a lot of areas. But when you get down to the so-called brass tacks of it, you're not taking any risks or chances in any area because the fear is just too great that you're going to end up hurt or harmed in some way. The universe is saying you are missing out on a lot. And I can't tell you specifically in what area of your life, and that's probably because it's many. Probably because it's many. Kelly, open up just a little bit to the possibility and idea that there's still good in the world and that some people around you at least do have good intentions. I feel like there's something coming in, an offer, an opportunity, something very exciting for you, if it hasn't already come in. And I feel like your immediate reaction is going to be disappointment because you feel like, wow, I would love it if this were true, right? I'd love it if this were really happening. Like all those guys on TikTok that like send the DMs and they're like, I'll give you $5,000 a month just to send me a picture of your armpit. You don't have to do anything else, you know? And of course it's all BS, right? There's always strings attached to that kind of stuff when it comes to random strangers on the internet. The universe is saying like, try to put yourself out there more and open your energy up more, Kelly, to the idea of goodness. Because the more you focus on thinking something's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. You will literally manifest the worst for yourself unintentionally, just by your thoughts and the words that you say. And for some reason, and I'm not seeing it clearly, that's going to be really important this summer. Good night, Miss Cindy. Thank you for coming in. All right, Miss Julie girl. We're using the Divine Circus. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. You're so sweet. Thank you for thinking of me. I need new decks, girl. It's been too long. I've gotten one new deck since my birthday. I'm excited. I'm excited to see you anyway. It's been so long since you got hurt. And by the way, I was a little upset because you only said you broke your wrists. You didn't talk about brain bleed. Must have forgot that part. I don't blame you, though. Your brain was bleeding, probably. I'm just glad you're better. And I hope you're not taking any crap from that job. You're welcome, Miss Kelly. I'm sorry that was a little vague. That does happen sometimes when it's a big lesson, and if you knew too many details, you would change just because of the details, right? Blue, it used to be much worse. I was getting like 3 decks a month at one point when I was making money. I've definitely slowed down, though. I have over 250, so I don't really need more. But I do love to collect them, and I love the new energy. Like every time I open a new deck, it's like a whole new energy. Jules, you got card number 1, meant for you. No, I hear you. I just hope you're fully healed and better soon. Okay. Jules, what is rightfully yours is, or very soon will be, right in front of you. Caught up in a spiraling wave of new beginnings, it's time to reach out and grab what is headed your way. Opportunity is the universe believing in you. Return the compliment by accepting what's being offered with open arms and a trusting heart. You'll be glad you did. Don't worry if this opportunity seems to be leading you down a different path than what you expected. All paths lead us to where we need to be. Sometimes the universe just has a better idea of what will get us to our destination at the perfect time and along the pathway that will be most beneficial to us. Trust what's happening. Accept that you deserve good things to happen to you, and don't be shy. Now is your time to step up, open your mouth and your arms, and say, thank you, I accept. So this is similar to what I said to Kelly. It's like there's some opportunity coming in. There's something I feel like you've been waiting for a long time. But I don't even think you've put really too much effort into it, because it's almost become like a pipe dream to you at this point. Maybe it's something I'm not sad. Maybe it's something you always wanted, but like after trying so hard through different times in your life, you kind of gave up on it. There's something here that's coming in that was like, it was always meant to be a part of your path. You just took some detours. And I feel like you almost don't even think about whatever this is anymore. The universe definitely has a surprise for you. And I feel like once this comes in, I don't know if you're going to recognize it for what it is, because I feel like you're going to look at whatever this is, not as a curse, but definitely not as a blessing. It's going to come in as like a burden of some sort, where your initial reaction or response is going to be, I don't want anything to do with that. Unfortunately, I don't think you have a choice. There's some responsibility coming in for you, something that you're going to have to take on that you really don't want to. But the more gratefully you accept this and the more humble you are in whatever this is, even if you're doing it reluctantly, the faster you're going to see that it's leading you right where you need to be. It's like this was the one thing you needed and you didn't even realize it. This is happiness, joy, abundance, coming in the package of agitation, frustration, and like, I don't want anything to do with this. I hope that makes sense. She said, oh, please. I'm not. I'm just really tired. I took RJ to the carnival yesterday. I had my History Channel interview today. I'm going to the Paranormal Circus tomorrow. Father's Day Sunday. I'm worried about some things. Like I said, I've got RJ's birthday coming up. I still don't have a writing contract. Like I have a lot of things I'm worried about right now, but not really sad. No. Jules, make sure that anything that you do it to the best of your ability with gratitude. Even if you don't, you're still going to, fall right into whatever this is and eventually understand that it was really a great opportunity or a great thing that happened, at least in a way. But if you go into whatever this is begrudgingly, like I have to do this and this sucks, it's going to take longer for you to see the bright side of it and possibly to reap the benefit of it. Because I see a little bit like there could be finance involved here, like money to be made by whatever this is or from whatever this is, but you just don't want to be, you don't care, like you don't want to be involved. It's definitely interesting. Yeah, I know. I do seem, I guess, worried and sad are kind of like similar energies, and I try to do my best on here to be positive and upbeat because I want to put that energy out for you guys. A lot of people come here for guidance and help, and I don't want to be, last week after the stream, something happened at home that I was just a mess, and it's been crazy. I worry about Christmas and his birthday. Those are like the two that I'm always just like, gotta make money, gotta make money, gotta make money, gotta make money. And it's like the more I focus on not having money, the more I don't have money. But it's hard not to focus on it because it's a major concern, right? So it's what we do in our own head. All right, who's next?
Okay, here's the deal. I called 3 people, none of them answered.
Okay.
Or some may have booked because it's so late.
Yeah,
there.
He's in Ireland, so.
Yeah, so I need to bump him up when I can. And Chris didn't answer, and neither did Eris. So go ahead. Life with Bobby, are you still here? And if Life with Bobby doesn't answer, go ahead and do Norland too if he wants one.
Nordland, do you want a reading? Because we're almost done, right?
Yeah, we're getting there. Got a few, about 5, if give or take.
Jarvis, Life with Bobby.
You sure you want to
pass?
Okay.
Who? Chris Jarvis, Nordland, and there was someone else you said.
Chris Jarvis.
Carrie, I see you, honey. We just
And Carrie, yeah, she's coming up actually.
Yeah,
and then what it is, it's Eris if she shows back up. Chris, if he shows up. Norland, Carrie Ann, and Deedles. And then if you do timestamps.
So here's the order. Nordland, Carrie, and Deedles. If anyone that we just called pops back in, they're just going to have to wait until those 3 are done because they've been waiting very patiently. All right, yes, Nordland, let's do Magic of You. What'd you say, Stephen?
No, I said I totally agree. Basically is what I was doing.
I love you too, Julie girl. I'm going to take me a shower and relax. All right, Eris. So it's Nordland, Carrie Ann, Deedles, and you. Only because we called a few times and you're usually, I was going to say, not in a rush. So you took the words right out of my mouth. Ooh, we got card number 25, the card of Phenomenon. Be still and listen to the spirits. It's time to invite and commune with spirit guides and ancestors and consider their advice and guidance. The girl of Phenomenon has sacrificed one eye for inner sight as she bridges the worlds of life and death. She's surrounded by white lilies, the sacred flower of death. This indicates that your willingness and ability to be still and listen will reveal the beauty of your situation. The girl of Phenomenon's crown chakra and third eye are fused in a web of pearly branches that inspire peaceful contemplation. Don't fear the underworld. Instead, willingly descend into the darkness with grateful awareness that others who came before you have learned the lessons and answers that you are seeking and are willing to share their insight and wisdom. I do feel, Nordland, if you're not in something right now, that toxic's the first word that popped up, but that may not necessarily be it. I just feel like it might be a space of confusion, of not knowing which way to go in decision making, right? So you don't know what to do. There's some area that it's like you're having trouble or will be soon making a decision that I think from the outside looking in, people are going to almost judge you. Like somebody, for example, and I'm not saying this is happening to you, just an example, a person in an abusive relationship, and those freaking people that always say, well, just leave, or that's who you chose. They don't understand because they've never been there. And I feel like that's kind of what you're dealing with. There could be this feeling of like nobody understands this particular thing going on with you, whatever it involves, whether it's love and romance or friendship, kinship, whether it's something you're experiencing spiritually, like activation, or, maybe your prophetic dreaming. I mean, it could literally be anything, but I feel like in your real life, you don't have people to turn to because you're going to be judged. And I don't think people are judging you because they're trying to judge you or be harsh with you. It's just, to them, it's a no-brainer. It's a simple thing. And for you, it's complicated and complex because you're the one living it. Don't let anyone manipulate you or rush you into making a decision that you're not ready to make. So while I told Netter earlier that he needs to make a decision before the universe makes one for him, and if he continues to procrastinate, he's going to have even more problems, that's not the case for you. The universe is saying, take your time. I feel like you could be prophetic dreaming or otherwise receiving downloads in relation to whatever or whoever this is. The universe and your spirit team, they're definitely trying to help you by sending messages. But for some reason, I feel like you're either so worried about, good night, Mark, thank you, or upset about, there's some lower vibrational emotion here that's blocking you from receiving the fullness of what's being sent and given and downloaded to you. The universe is saying, even if you don't meditate, I'm not one of those people who can meditate. What I do is I do 20 minutes of yoga. Sometimes I do it multiple times a day. That's how I clear my mind. So it doesn't always have to be just sitting there completely quiet in the silence with your eyes closed. For some people, myself included, that's not possible. But the universe is saying, like, if people are behaving that way towards you and like judging you for the decision you made or for not making a decision yet or whatever, or for struggling in making the decision, like, don't go to those people for advice. If you're religious, go to your religious deity. If you're not religious, go to your spirit team. Call out to the universe itself. I also see something a little disturbing, and I normally don't get this during readings, the one cards, but I will say, I don't know if you're having issues with sleep paralysis or some sort of maybe spontaneous astral travel, possibly. Nighthawk, hold that thought. Possibly, I feel like there's something going on when you're sleeping. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I feel like that's probably also distracting you. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to random thoughts that seem to not be your own, where you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, these are all messages coming in about this situation. Don't listen to the actual human people around you because they literally don't know what they're talking about. They can't understand, and therefore they would not be able to make the right decisions here because they don't know. And I feel like you're suffering and struggling in a way, or soon will be, because you're frustrated that you can't get any advice that makes sense. This is a spiritual issue, and you need to turn to spirit to figure it out. Nighthawk, I'll reach out to you because Sunday is Father's Day. I just have to see what I have planned and what time church is on Sunday. I'd love to be on your show, but let me talk to Ghost and get back to you. All right, Carrie, Nordland, but they're really important. And I would say in the next 2 weeks, even if you're one of those people who can't remember your dreams or nightmares, but you just wake up knowing it was intense, this is what I do. Keep a little notebook next to your bed and write down the first 5 words that come to your mind. I don't care if it's moon, Sierra book shade curtain. Just write it down. And after 2 weeks of doing this every morning, go back and look at it, and it should start to make sense and come together. So what do I see for N and U? Carrie, like I said earlier, I will do my very, very best to get you an answer there. It is hard with just one card, but I normally can get something. I'm going to use, I think the best deck I have for a question like that is going to be Queen Mabe, because I don't have any love decks on me right now, which is okay. They don't have to be love decks to get an answer like that. You're welcome, Nordland. Thanks for coming in and showing your support. All right, Miss Carrie. By the way, thank you for waiting so patiently. Most new people want readings so badly, but they don't want to wait and they don't want to listen to me talk, and they're just very impatient and they leave. So, you know, thumbs up to you for that. I really do appreciate it. Welcome, Dread Fury. And I cannot show you the card fully because YouTube is childish and there's nudity, but there it is. Deedles, you're on deck, hun. And this is card number 37. So I'll read you what the book says, and then I'll interpret it for you. And we'll see if we can get an answer. Channel fierceness into power. I keep forgetting. Banish now all curses, hexes, and unwanted spells that have been placed upon you. Draw upon your fierceness and the purifying wrath of the goddess to unbind your soul and spirit now and for all time. Your freedom from oppressive inner patterns only awaits your instantaneous and complete refusal to host them for a minute more. The patterns to which I refer may include self-criticism, disempowering cultural programming, coercive control from an individual or group, codependency, intimidation, gaslighting, abuse, or any other form of physical, mental, or emotional hijacking. You're not as impressionable as you have been made to believe. You're not as susceptible to idle whims and wishes. You were not born to play a supporting role in the lives of the fantasies of others. You don't deserve to have your power siphoned or your freedom limited. You must choose now to unchoose any or all of these things for once and for all. Find the dread fury within you, Carrie, the sharp-taloned, black-eyed goddess who will suffer no foolishness or fools. Allow yourself to feel her presence that arrives like an inferno to incinerate all you will no longer accept. Let her wild liberation burn through you like a glorious explosion followed by an all-consuming fire. Human culture and human relationships can be battlefields. There are those who would channel your power towards their egotistical agendas. Sometimes you must work to heal such dynamics through thoughtful counseling and inner exploration. Other times you must change your circumstances by immediately and utterly refusing. You must display your sharp teeth and scream a loud and piercing no that resonates throughout time and space, causing all that you are unchoosing to retreat and dissolve away. Now, I'm going to do your reading, because whether this is about N or not, the universe and your spirit team specifically has some really major concerns about some relationship in your life. It's either this is your relationship with the person you're asking about, or this relationship is affecting the person you're asking about, okay? And that's the best I can do with one card on the fly. There's something happening in a relationship in your life, again, romantic or otherwise, where you are being, I want to say, abused. Now, it doesn't mean you're being physically beaten or abused, but you have been neglected, controlled, your freedoms have been stripped, you're walking on eggshells, you are, you know, whether this person's someone you live with or like this is how your parents treated you, there is some form of massive unbalance in your life where you are the one giving, and this person's taking. And not only that, but demanding more. I feel like you've had relationships that were very unequal and unbalanced throughout your life, and all different types of them too. Most empaths, Most people with spiritual abilities, we do end up in those types of relationships, and it usually starts very early on in life. Usually. Carrie, I'm concerned because I feel like whatever this relationship is with this person that this card is talking about, it is stunting your growth in every conceivable area of your life. Feeling or being treated as though you're less than human. You are only there to make this person happy or make this person proud, or God forbid you should make your own decision. If this is describing your relationship with this N person, this is the universe warning you that if you don't get out soon, you may not have the chance. This person, whoever it is not going to change. They're not willing to change. They don't see why they should change. This is extreme narcissism. Like narcissism and toxicity at its extreme. I know all about it. It is the most painful, infuriating, frustrating thing in the world. If it's not that relationship, I would say until you get this situation or relationship under control, I feel like you're going to have issues giving all of yourself to anyone because you've almost been trained in a way to behave a certain way, to go along to get along, to not make a fuss. I was taught when I was younger that crying and having feelings was bad manners. Like, we don't cause scenes, even if like somebody could punch me in my face, and if I yelled or screamed, I'd be told I was embarrassing somebody, right? Like, this is the kind of abuse training that a lot of us go through. The universe is saying, until you deal with these issues and definitely get away from this person and get whatever help or resources you can. I feel like it's spiritual though, right? So you have this spiritual connection with this person and you're contracted to have had this situation in this lifetime. The universe is saying, manifest nothing but the best for yourself. Try doing everything and anything you can to vibrate higher so that you can be removed. Because once you're vibrating high enough, your light is going to irritate the hell out of this person's demons and darkness. And they're going to choose to walk away and find new supply and a new victim. If you continue to stay in any relationship or situation where you are knowingly being victimized and you're just going along because it's comfortable, you're at a major disadvantage when it comes to allowing anyone who genuinely loves you in. If none of this makes any sense at all, number one, give it a week or two, but I think this is long term. So if this is not your energy, I don't know you, I don't know anything except the one question you asked me, which is normally fine when I do the video readings face to face. This is kind of general, and you might want to talk to N about something that they're dealing with or have dealt with, which has blocked them off to being able to accept the love, kindness, and just your energy in general that you're trying to give them. So I've given you 3 different scenarios for what this could be. I personally think it's you not being able to move forward and not even realizing that it's you. Okay. I have someone else in here and she doesn't care if I talk about it. So I'm going to say quickly because I know Deedles is waiting and I'm waiting to end. It's been a long night. Carrie, first of all, I'm going to have Ghost Dragons put my email in the chat. You can email me and we can always text if you need help with something. I don't get back to people right away. I'm very bad with it. But if it's an emergency or if you have a question or two or just need someone to vent to, I'm a good person to do that because my ringer stays off. So you can never bother me. You're getting Melissa Nicole and I talk about this a lot. We talk about it in stream. She gets cards like this all the time. She's dealing with something similar. You're moving into a danger zone where you're finally seeing, you're saying separated or finished. You're finally seeing the light. You deserve better. Your spirit is vibrating higher. That's going to irritate, like I said, this person's demons and their darkness. And there's a chance that if you make too much of a big deal about it, they're going to attack you physically. I see physical harm. So keep it DL. Don't tell too many people about it. Your plans for like long-term, not taking this person back or not getting back together with them. Please do it as quietly as possible to protect yourself. Deedles, are you still here? Yeah, negativity always goes for the weaker victims, for sure. Some of us are weak and we don't realize it.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some of us are weak and we don't realize it, right? Because we've been weakened. And it's not so much that we're weak, it's just we're energetically lowering instead of heightening. You're welcome, sweetie. 6 years sober on June 3rd. Yay! There's not... I thought that you and I thought you had way more time than me. And not that that's not amazing. For some reason, though, I look up to you so much. I thought that... I don't know, girl. I'm crazy. All right. Yeah, Carrie, email me first. If you want to explain more of the situation, just know that when it comes to private conversations, I do keep everything private. I don't discuss it here unless you discuss it here and give me permission. So you won't ever hear me like talking about it publicly or telling anybody about it. So you can trust me. It's part of what I do. I like to provide a safe space, even again, just for people to vent. And maybe we can figure some things out, how to get you more spiritually in line with removing yourself permanently without making it dangerous. I've also been in that situation. I was actually, I can't say the word on YouTube, I'll say nep kid, and kept in a basement for several months. I understand the dangers. So, Urso, thank you so much for coming in and showing your support. Miss Deedles, I'm going to use one of my newer decks, the Dark Goddesses. Thank you, Blue. Yeah, I take that very seriously. You know, I stake my career on discretion and respecting the things people tell me. All right, so we're going to do Deedles and Casey and Lotus, and then I am going to take a shower and grab some food. I think I had soup and a slice of pizza today. And my Italian knife. Scotty, Wild Heart. I've never had a card, as far as like Carrie's card, I've never had a card be so adamant about an abusive relationship. It's usually so much more vague. That kind of blew me away. But that's why your team did that, to give me more of an understanding of what we were talking about. Deirdre, within you beats a wild heart. Scotty is reminding you to stride through life proudly as your authentic self. Disregard the restrictions that have been placed upon you by convention, others, or yourself. Don't be afraid to take risks for whom and what you love. You are fierce and you will not be tamed. I love this. I do feel like you, nice, Urso. I might check that out, at least after the fact. I feel like, again, and this comes up with you a lot, and I'm not judging. I totally get it because, you know, being in recovery and just like the people we surround ourselves with, sometimes inadvertently through the recovery lifestyle, right? And plus what you do for a living, you work with recovering addicts. I feel like somebody is trying to, I'm just getting such mean girl energy, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a female, though, that someone is like judging you harshly and putting you down. And this isn't like an abusive relationship. I just feel like this is somebody who, and I feel like it could be a work thing. I feel like this is somebody who, like, no matter what you do, it's not good enough, but it's not their place to say if what you're doing is good enough, or if it's like not their business. They're not your boss. There's somebody here that, just like I just told Carrie, your light is really irritating them. They just don't like you. And it's literally they don't even know why. be on the lookout for this about like snitch life in the workplace, people going behind your back, smiling in your face. Watch what personal information you give to people. And I would also say, Deirdre, and that's especially at work, but in your personal life, I want you to be very mindful of anyone who comes in trying to date you. Go on a date if you want to, have a great time, but don't ignore any red flags, because I feel a very controlling, coercive, toxic person coming in who's looking at you like you're the perfect victim. That's, I just keep seeing someone, and I know they show me things in such a silly, cartoonish way, but it's just like somebody just like plotting on you, like seeing you as like, oh yeah, she's way too nice. She's going to do everything I say. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the type of person, you've been with that type of person before. Unfortunately, I don't think this particular relationship is authentic. That doesn't mean anyone who asks you out is going to be like this. It just means keep an eye out for people like this, because I'm getting such high school energy. Like, the person at work that doesn't like you thinks it's funny to like get this person who also doesn't really like you to like ask you to do something for them or go somewhere with them. Be very, very careful, Deirdre, in the next couple of weeks specifically, and specifically at work, but not only at work, who you surround yourself with. There are people that are definitely not on your side looking to get you in trouble for literally no reason other than you are shining much brighter than they are and doing much better. And they're like judging you harshly for that. And it's like, you've come too far to be caught up in this messy BS. But at the same time, when you're under attack, it's like you have no choice but to fight back. And I don't mean physical. Again, I'm talking like verbal. And it's like, once you do that, I see it being turned on you. So be very, very careful. And again, go out, have fun, go on a date, but just watch the type of person you allow yourself to get comfortable with, at least in the next couple of months. I'm not saying indefinitely, but I just see snake in the grass energy all around you, and more so in love in the next few months. I'm sorry I don't have better news. I hate that, like, you're probably like feeling better, and I'm like, here's your reading. Everyone sucks. I love you, girl. I'm so proud of you. And 6 years is a big, big deal. And you're a miracle, and you're incredible. And I just admire you so much. And I'll see you next Friday. Let me move on to our timestamps, because I'm ready to go and eat and shower.
Was you going to do Eris?
Did I not do Eris?
I don't think you did. Did
Eris,
she do Eris?
Did I read for you? Sorry, I can't keep up.
Yeah, well, it's been a crazy one. No, there's no Eris. No, I didn't think so.
Okay, I got you. Human spirit. That's right, because you were like, don't worry about it. I'm not in a rush. No, that's not why. I just forgot. Okay. Card number 15. Mow the grass. I was just thinking that. Time to mow the grass. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Card number 15 in the upright position, Eris. Sheesh, you were there with the monkey. Get off my lawn. Why are you always hanging on to someone else's problems? Is it boundaries? Do you suffer from codependency, or are you a hero at the expense of your own happiness? We spend a lot of time speaking about and on other people's problems because they're easier to see and solve than our own. Some people also thrive on drama, so self-inflicted, and they want to make you part of their three-ring circus, tossing you from their trapeze of chaos into their habitat of monkeys. Next time you start to swing from someone else's problem, take a moment and say, not my circus, not my monkeys, and take a step back. Somebody is definitely pulling you in to their mess. Okay. Something that you have no business being involved in, but like somebody's trying to pull you in. And I feel like the reason they're doing this is just to like have someone on their side. I feel as though, I think I said this to Blue Crossroads in the first reading I did tonight. I don't know if you were here. I was like, watch where you get involved to try to stick up for or defend somebody because they're not telling you the whole truth. Eris, I feel the same way about you. Someone's giving you a sob story. Woe is me. So-and-so is so horrible, but you're not hearing so-and-so's side of the story. And I do feel like this is a manipulative tactic just so that this toxic person, this loving drama type person, can point and say, well, Eris agrees with me. You don't want your name dragged into this. Trust me, you have your own issues. You have your own problems. You're not the drama queen here. Maybe you don't have to, and I don't know how you interact with certain types of people. You could be one of those people that's like, don't involve me in your drama. I'm not getting involved. Or you could be someone like me, the person I'm trying not to be, which is like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. And then just like, you know, give them so much sympathy and everything that they're looking for and wanting, because I feel uncomfortable telling them I know they're lying. Like going along to get along, playing that role for them. Don't do that no matter what, because you're going to get sucked into something so much bigger than you, so much deeper than what you're actually being told. And it's going to end up being worse on you than it is for the original 2 or more people involved. Eris, it's okay to say, I don't know anything about that. Or I'm here if you need to vent, but you know, I don't want to give advice there, or I don't want to be involved. And that's kind of been my go-to of like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I just don't want to be involved. Right. And people get mad, but let them. People have to deal with their own mess, with their own situations. Right. They can't call for backup every time they piss someone off and the person they pissed off reacts in a pissed off way. I feel like someone who is 1,000,000% wrong is trying to pull you in to like monkey dance for them so they can point to you and be like, Eris is a good person. Eris doesn't lie and Eris got my back. This is so juvenile. Just keep your energy to yourself for the next couple of weeks and don't be afraid to say, I really would rather not get involved. And you can tell the role someone plays in a situation by how they respond to that. Because if the person's in the right, they don't need you to get involved. They're already right. They have receipts. They know where they're going. They know what's going on. If somebody's in the wrong, they want to recruit as many people as possible to prove that they're a good person, or that's like supposed to be their receipt. Toxic manipulators and narcissists do that all the time. Protect your energy. All right, KC, Wild Woman. What happened, Smoochie? Hecate, Queen of the Crossroads, card number 33, the Unknown. Guys, one more time, I just want to remind you, please donate to PayPal or Cash App if you can. Anything and everything that I earn through PayPal and Cash App from now to July 11th is going to go towards my son's birthday and little birthday party and cake, his presents, and all that stuff, okay? That's not it. 33. Okay, what important decision have you been avoiding due to fear of the unknown? KC, Hecate acknowledges that you are at a significant crossroads in your life. She meets you at this crossroads with her torch, dagger, and key and asks you to embrace the unknown even though you're afraid. This decision, although difficult and full of uncertainty, has to be made. Trust that with your inner knowing and real-world experience, you will make the decision that is for the highest good of all. Hecate, goddess of magic, witchcraft, necromancy, life and death, doorways and crossroads, is one of the most mysterious figures in Greek mythology. It's believed that her name may derive from the ancient Greek word Hekos, meaning far off, roughly translating to influence from afar. This name may allude to her foreign origins, as her worship is thought to have begun in Anatolia, largely modern-day Turkey. Hecate was greatly honored by Zeus, as she was the only Titan permitted to maintain her authority once the Olympians won the war against the Titans. Only Hecate continued to hold the great power to either give to or withhold from humanity anything she desired. Because she's always been shrouded in mystery, Hecate has been depicted in a variety of ways: a seductive maiden, a wise old crone, and a three-headed woman looking simultaneously in three directions at a crossroads, representing her ability to see into the past, present, and future. Statues and images of Hecate often show her carrying a torch that brings illumination, a dagger that cuts through illusion, and a key that can unlock any door we truly wish to enter. She's often accompanied by animal familiars such as black dogs, snakes, black cats, polecats, and dragons. Casey, this is a really important card. In the next couple of weeks, especially, but I would say, again, to you, going through the summer, it's really important that you don't procrastinate, that you don't teeter-totter, and that you don't make decisions based on others, people's, anyone else's wants, needs, feelings, etc. Okay? Don't make decisions based on keeping this person happy or making sure that person isn't angry with you. You're coming to a crossroads in your life. That whole learning how to live a whole different way, you're coming to that. And not that you haven't been doing it all along, but there's something major here that's really about to happen for you. And I feel like though you might be very, very scared, so say selling your house and moving, or moving across country for a job, or, it's crazy, running off and joining a convent. Like, I don't know. There's something major here that other people, again, because we talked about KCU putting time, effort, energy, money, etc. into something that other people really didn't want you to do. They disagreed with it, but you did it anyway. You put your foot down, you stood in your power, you stood your ground, and you were involved anyway. This is something that it's like, I'm hearing make or break, make or break. Do this for you. You know that your intentions are good, and you know that deep down inside, everything you're trying to do is for the greater good of not just you, other people involved, possibly your family, maybe friends, or these people involved in whatever this already is. The people giving you advice are giving you advice from a place of fear, of not understanding, of not really trying to understand or knowing why you want to do what you're doing. They don't get it. Why would they? You don't have to explain it to them. And I don't really think you took the time. You're a grown woman. In the next couple of weeks, going through the summer, make decisions based on reality. Reasonable, rational decisions, not anything based on emotion, particularly not the emotion of others. Now, this doesn't mean don't let your instinct and intuition guide and lead you, but don't let anyone else's, what they perceive to be instinct and intuition, like, oh, Casey, I got a bad feeling about this. That's their bad feeling. That's their energy. It has nothing to do with you. I feel like whatever this is very good for you. Even if in the whole long run, it doesn't work out so well or as well as you hoped or expected. Right now, at this moment in time, in the next few months, throughout the summer, in the next couple of weeks and going forward, it's so good for you and something you definitely should be doing, and doing it without second guessing it. Tennille, we're using energy and spirit, and then I am done. Yeah, guys, I don't know if that would be banned language. I just feel like YouTube's so petty that you just have to be really careful, because if this stream gets demonetized, I don't make any money as it is. I do this for donation only, to help you guys and to spend time with you. So just act as if your children in school. I know it's ridiculous, but that's how YouTube is. And they are really petty with their smaller creators. Nice. Oh my gosh, that went so fast. I didn't even realize that. Holy crap. Wow. All right, Miss Lotus Girl. Sensitivity and strength. Tapping the forces within, card number 3 in the upright. A situation calls for some sensitivity right now. It may be an issue with a friend or someone at work or in your family. Even if it's in your nature to be strong, in control, and sometimes even aggressive, remember that it's possible to be both tender and strong at the same time. This card upright is telling you to pause and resist any old urge to plow through things. Consider the peace and compassion you could introduce into a tense or tenuous situation. When you look at the situation with flexibility and calm clarity, you bring gentle, receptive yin energy to the issue. Then your sensitivity and strength will come together in vibrations as powerful and as soothing as the sun's rays. So, Tennille, unfortunately, I feel like this is once again you swooping in to try and save somebody. Only this time I feel like whatever this is going to work out at least a little bit more than it normally does when you're in these situations. I feel like you're past the point in whatever this is. And I think I know what this could be, but I don't want to say it publicly. I feel like you're past the point of even frustration. And you're just to the point almost, I feel like a desperate hope of like, I've got to do this one last thing. But in order to convince another person or other people involved that they should go along with this, you're really going to have to lay it on thick. And it's not, your heart is totally there. But I feel like there's a part of you that wants to put your foot down and just, be like, this is what we have to do and we're doing it and that's it. Unfortunately, in this situation, you can't make that decision. You have to convince the other person or people involved that it's the right thing or that it's their decision somehow. And the way you're going to do that, unfortunately, is taking a backseat to how you really feel. And not how you really feel, because you really are upset and worried and hurt and compassionate and wish you could take this person's pain. Letting those emotions take over, allowing the softness instead of like the tough love. Now, make sure you're finding balance here, sensitivity and strength. You need balance because of your physical ailments and your physical limitations and everything else, all the other issues you have going on that are taking up so much of your time, that are taking up so much of your energy and even draining your spirit. Unfortunately, I'll say this summer because I've been reading for the summer all night for some reason, something here is going to take a turn for the worse. That's really going to put the situation in perspective for you. And I feel like you're going to have to take drastic measures. And it's going to be painful. It's not going to be like an easy thing to do. But I feel like in order for anything in this situation to change and get better, you're going to have to force it, but like do the long con, right? Like slowly work this idea into this person. We can talk more privately about this. I don't want to get too deep into it publicly. Everybody, Andrew, what's up, Nomeo? Good night. Don't forget, Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, I have a between 15 and 16 minute pre-recorded video premiering. Y'all guys can talk in the chat about the Carter brothers. It's two vampire brothers who committed terrible crimes in 1930s New Orleans. They were caught by the police, but they did manage to escape. And there are still sightings of them to this day. It's very, very interesting. I have videos coming up on walk-ins as far as souls are concerned. And that was a crazy one to do because I channeled it from my main spirit guide. I've got people who said they were mind controlled by aliens and that's why they committed murders and crimes. Guys, I have so much coming up this summer, but this week it's the Vampire Carter brothers of New Orleans. So please check it out. Even if you can't watch the premiere, watch it afterwards. Those of you in chat, those of you listening after, my PayPal, my Cash App, that's in the description box. Please donate anything you can. If you're someone who watches the show regularly, afterwards, you can always give a few dollars. If everyone gave a few dollars, I would be perfectly fine. If you can't, that's fine. You can support me by liking, sharing, commenting at least 7 characters in the comments, doing all the things, notification bell, all that. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you are able to, if you're over there. I love you guys. Gemma out. Happy Friday the 13th. And happy Father's Day to all of you daddies out there and all you mamas who have to be both. Have a especially great weekend for y'all.